I spoke to a Canadian doctor friend of mine this morning who said to me that given the global population and the spread of COVID, we really need to get vaccines out faster and quicker and into people's arms. The international community is calling on Canada and other rich countries of the world to urgently donate vaccines to low income countries where COVID 19 is devastating populations, demolishing healthcare systems, and also potentially mutating into deadly variants as it spreads. In Canada, provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario, Quebec, Manitoba, and Nova Scotia have paused the use of AstraZeneca. While most provinces have said that they paused the first dose of AstraZeneca due to a lack of supply, Ontario, Manitoba, and Nova Scotia have pointed to the connection between AstraZeneca vaccine and rare blood clots. Canada recently received a delivery of 655,000 doses of AstraZeneca, with millions more on order. Since most provinces in Canada are no longer administering AstraZeneca for the current time period, the vaccines are sitting in freezers and not getting put in people's arms as they should be. So the question arises, when countries like India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka are experiencing the most devastating effects of COVID 19, should rich countries like Canada sit on vaccines that have been approved as safe and effective by WHO and Health Canada, wondering what to do with them as the clock ticks and thousands of lives are lost? Or should these rich countries donate the vaccines to our global partners in this pandemic that need the vaccines urgently? President Joe Biden announced Monday that his administration will send 20 million US approved COVID 19 vaccines abroad by the end of June, in addition to the previous commitment of 60 million AstraZeneca vaccines. While speaking to Global News, Canadian Minister of Public Services and Procurement Anita Anand also recently said,
that, as I mentioned, is a conversation we're having across government right now. And we have committed to donating excess doses. Our Prime Minister has mentioned this. I have, and Minister Gould and Minister Haidu are all on the same page in terms of the need to donate excess doses that Canadians aren't using. So we are thinking of all of the options relating to any excess doses, and we will continue to make sure we fulfill our obligations to Canadians by bringing in millions of doses. 100 million doses or more will be in the country prior to the end of September. And we, of course, will maintain our obligations to the developing world as well.
according to a vaccine advocacy expert with UNICEF who spoke to CBC's Matt Galloway in The Current, between Canada and its G7 partners, the vaccine supply that is likely to come over June, July, and August, it's enough to vaccinate 100% of adults in these countries, and that up to 20% of the supply can be donated. However, it is understandable that every country, including Canada, has a commitment to its own people first. But we also need to acknowledge that this pandemic is not just limited to Canada. It is a global pandemic. If the situation gets any worse in South Asia or in any other country around the globe where COVID 19 rages on, it will mutate and take on forms of deadly variants that will reach our homes eventually. So while there is a legitimate argument for global justice, global equity, global solidarity, there's also the very real concern of the virus getting stronger and deadlier if we don't urgently control its spread. Like any other decision in the pandemic, it is a tough decision to make. One certainty, however, that is not up for debate is that no vaccine should expire, including the 655,000 doses of AstraZeneca that are sitting in freezers in wait for a distribution plan in Canada. Locally in Calgary, Calgary Nepalese Community Association is joining hands with their national partners in Canada to advocate for Canada to ship the extra AstraZeneca vaccines to Nepal. Nepal is a country with 57 times more COVID cases now than the same time last month. Nepal currently has a COVID positivity rate of 44%. In many parts of Nepal, 40% of the healthcare providers are falling sick with COVID, and the healthcare infrastructure is crumbling. That also means that the routine healthcare, especially for children, is also severely compromised. India had donated about 1 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccines to Nepal before it had to halt its vaccine exports for its own domestic use. And Nepal had also secured some doses from the global vaccine sharing program COVAX and from China as well. But they aren't nearly enough for Nepal's population of almost 30 million. As of May 16, only 7.5% of the Nepalese population has had one dose of the vaccine and 2.5% have been fully vaccinated. Brajesh Gautam is the president of Calgary Nepalese Association. Welcome, Brajesh.
Hi, Rob.
Nepal has halted its vaccination drive indefinitely as of now. Do you have any updates on that?
Yes. So I'm with Calgary Nepalese Community Association. So I'm familiar with what is happening in Nepal right now. So we started a vaccination drive with a COVAX vaccine that we received from India a few months back, and then first lot came, and then after that we have not received any of those COVAX, which is basically AstraZeneca vaccine in Nepal. So we haven't had that vaccine for a few months now. And actually, for my personal case, my parents got the first dose a few months back. Now they are still waiting for their second dose. So yes, we are waiting for AstraZeneca vaccine to come to Nepal, because we don't have that vaccine, even if we want to buy it. So last I heard was there was some vaccines coming from China in limited quantity. So we have those vaccines from China, but as far as our original AstraZeneca vaccines, we don't have them, and we are waiting for them.
Tell me about the advocacy work that you and your partners are doing currently. Um, you're petitioning the Canadian government to donate vaccines to Nepal. How do you plan to convince the Canadian government to help Nepal now rather than wait a few months until all Canadians are vaccinated?
So the issue with vaccine is it is a kind of a government controlled, right? Like every country is buying its own vaccine. Only the country which have access financially, or through some other influence, have got hold of the vaccines. And luckily we live in Canada, and we're able to get a good quantity of vaccines. But if you talk about country like Nepal, which with limited resources, we're kind of a bottom of the line, per se, right? So what we have been doing, we have been petitioning the federal government and provincial government through letters, through calling the MPs, MLAs, premiers, so that any vaccine that has is not being used here, um, or in addition extra quantity, can go to Nepal and serve the purpose there.
There's also an ongoing conversation around the ethical element of vaccine donation, of the vaccines that are not being used here. Would it be ethically right for Canada to donate a vaccine that we don't want to use here?
I think so, because if we are not using it here, rather than placing them in the freezer, um, I think it will make sense for them to use somewhere where it may end up saving additional life. Uh, I think like from a global perspective too, right? The vaccine is for human beings all over the world, as far as from a user point of view. It's just that the how you get there, right? Like, and in this initial stage where everybody is looking for vaccine. uh, I think if we have something extra that we are not using, I think it does make sense to provide them to countries like Nepal.
As you said, Nepal has already been using AstraZeneca and it is approved in Nepal as well.
Yes.
So, how can we help? How can I understand that you have a petition ongoing right now, but how can we help? How can Canadians help?
So what you have been doing here, just to get the word out, right? This is a big piece, I guess, of the puzzle, in the sense that we need to get the information out that, hey, there are vaccine need in a country like Nepal, which is going through a very dire COVID situation right now. If you look at the news, the photos, videos, the social media feed coming from Nepal is very, it's heart wrenching. It's difficult to watch for somebody like me who grew up there. So for us to get that vaccine to Nepal will serve a greater good.
Like you said, we have to look at it from a global standpoint as well. A vaccine in an arm is better than a vaccine that is sitting here and may expire potentially.
Yes, that's true. The vaccine, yeah, we like any extra dose, right? We can provide, will provide that help that is in dire need.
Is there a website or is there a petition that we can sign?
We have a change .org petition going, and as far as so when you are talking to your MPs, MLAs, or any political figure, right? Because this is a more, we have to go through that political channel, the decision makers who are making these decisions on which vaccine to go where. So and in a democracy like ours here, that's the only way to get that information out, that uh, that hey, our country like Nepal is in need of this vaccine. So if our MPs, MLAs, or any other decision makers can be shown that picture, that okay, this is where it is needed, I think that will help. So if you can sign those petitions, and when you are talking to your political leaders, that and just to get that word out, that a vaccine is in dire need in a country like Nepal.
I will put the link of the change.org petition that you have started in the caption of this post. And also, if there is any form letters or if there is any communication with the elected officials that you are spearheading, please let me know, and I will share that information as well for people to join in that campaign with you.
Sure, and that will be great help for the cause.
Thank you so much, Brajesh. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rob. Bye.